Hey everyone, and welcome to today's video on the latest Shopify editions Summer 2025 Horizon. Now this one is pretty cool. Last one was the boring one. This one's about Horizon's very big focus on AI and giving a lot of flexibility for developers and people as such, as well as obviously merchants, right? So we're just going to go through this step by step. I'll have a link in the description where you can go check this out yourself as well. Make sure you sign up for their newsletter and you can see the past editions here. So you got these free themes, right? So you got Mirage. They're really trying to make things a lot more flexible. In the sort of Beautify theme, you have all of this. One of the big things is blocks, which the Beautify theme already has, which is really good. It shows you on the right path. You've got new arrivals, you've got new sections, and you can see how you can have the review stars. They're all trying to integrate it as well. Really, really simple and straightforward. So, you got all these types of categories, making it very, very simple. So as you can see, you've got all these different themes. Okay, so heritage, savior, all of these themes you can have a look at that are focused on building brands, which are really, really important to do as well to help you do that. All of these are all just free themes you can just check out yourself. So this is the part I was saying about you can generate blocks, build custom blocks, okay? And then you can use AI where you can finalize the code, make this image, make sort of a before and after as an example. It is really pretty cool stuff, right? So, it helps people have a more interactive experience. And you can design using their theme, sort of like you can use their own sort of theme builder to then quickly start building it. So from scratch, it's very straightforward. We've got a better editor, which I'm really happy about for me personally. Just gives a lot more people a lot more flexibility when it comes to using that. They're putting a big focus on a lot of flexibility there so people can really build a highly customizable brand. Hover to preview, categories, AI block generation. So a very big focus on AI blocks. I recommend that you watch these videos to get a good idea. I'm really excited about this. As I said, for me personally, got a number of updates with the Beautify theme to update to make it absolutely bug-free in terms of that, but overall it's fantastic. It'll make things a lot easier for people using all the widgets and stuff, and just a lot faster and streamlined to build a store. And I'm really looking, if I'm honest, to actually integrate a lot of this into the AI store builder because they're really opening that up. Now you've got the sidekick, a smarter, more powerful sidekick, right? It's just basically for people who want to have a look at various things across the store, make a discount code, check analytics, just really trying to bring all their data into a single place, right? So it's pretty cool, and it speaks 20 languages, and it can even make images, right? It integrates, I think it's ChatGPT that it uses it for to generate the images, so it can really help you do that all integrated. I still use other third-party tools for a lot of these, especially in terms of the image generation for internally. You can do all of this and it saves you a lot of time and effort. And obviously you can use it on mobile too, which everyone wants, through the Shopify mobile app, which I find really handy. And it even has compatibility with voice chat. So again, it's really trying to make it so merchants that are on the go, because a lot of Shopify merchants are entrepreneurs, side hustlers, small business, and even large business, just to bring it all into one tool into that ecosystem. Their retail, now I've never really used the Shopify point of system. I know a lot of people use Square, but the Shopify point of system is being improved a lot so that you can, they're always trying to improve it to streamline it. You can watch this on YouTube, of course, as well. I won't go through every part of this, but you can see how it's really just trying to focus on retail brands, restaurants, so on and so forth, small fashion brands, and it all integrates obviously into the Shopify backend as well, so you can have your online store and as well as your physical store. I found this pretty cool, the custom branding for the POS. So whatever POS system that you're using, you can use custom branding. Just small things make such a big difference when it comes to branding. And then you can ship and carry out in a single checkout, right? So a single transaction, so customers can take items home while shipping others exclusive, right, to the pro subscription of that. Okay, so I know a lot of people watching these videos are more focused on the online part, so I won't go too heavily into the retail part. That's more for specific retail brands. But the checkout, it's really cool. Flat rate for split shipping, Charge customers a single flat rate when fulfilling from multiple locations to reduce unexpected shipping costs. Okay, so basically it just makes it a more fluent checkout experience for people, and it'll just help boost conversion rates, right, at the checkout, because when people see something unexpected, they sort of question it, and let customers buy physical product virtually with the first checkout integration with Roblox. I saw the video of this from the president of Shopify on LinkedIn. He actually made a video of himself in Roblox where you can actually, I can't remember what brand it was, but you could buy lipstick in Roblox. This is really cool. This is really targeting that younger generation to really get them accustomed to these types of platforms. So really Shopify's trying to really upgrade that. One of the cool things for a lot of Shopify apps is your thank you and order status page using a guide. So you can use apps for that. There's Reconvert. There's a number of them. I'm planning to make one as well. So you can really customize that as well and make that experience for your customers as congruent to your branding as possible, which I just think is really, really cool. Fraud prevention is a really important one for people using Shopify payments. You're always going to get fraudulent payments. So having that will help reduce that because they integrate with Stripe. Stripe's improving their fraud prevention. I actually use chargeflow.io. You can use that for preventative measures as well as handling your disputes. So everyone gets disputes. Sadly, you will always get some disputes inevitably. This is really cool because the world's going to carbon neutral, environmentally friendly with carbon neutral option, okay, with the Planet app, right? That's just the way the world's going, really trying to move on that trend. And then compliance is always a super important one. Apple Pay, obviously, more ways to pay via Apple Pay is always important. And there's a new update coming out in 2 weeks, so I'll probably make another video about this, talking about that as well. Shopify Payments is now in 16 more countries, right? So they're really targeting, as you can see, the European countries. I think that's a lot of European and South African countries, if I'm to be accurate. So that just gives a lot more flexibility for merchants in other countries. So you can natively complete checkout in their currency. So if you're a global brand, then you're going to naturally, as opposed to having it in USD, you have it in their currency. People are going to buy it because then they don't have the foreign transaction fee and they know the exact cost. All right, just small things that do help boost conversion rates. Selling from multiple business entities, so easily sell from multiple business entities, both in person and online, through a single store, right? So really Shopify are trying to bring it all in, so because a lot of businesses have a lot of different complexities, so that you can control all of that, as you can see via this. Really makes it straightforward. Payouts in multiple currencies, reduce foreign transaction fees. They add up, right? On average, if it's 1%, you're doing 100,000. That's $1,000 a month in your pocket, and get paid in up to 8 currencies with Shopify Payments. Again, it just uses Stripe. You used to be able to use Stripe, but Shopify Payments is really good. You do get a very good merchant transaction fee. You got things like duty collection in checkout for all duties included in product prices, tariff guide. So, because of tariffs now, that's a big, big thing. And I'll be talking more about tariffs because there's been a lot of changes with the US and China with regards to tariffs. They've come to some really good agreements there because a lot of people were very skittish, right? And so now things are a bit more optimistic again. More local payments in the EU. The EU is a growing nation that are buying more online. It really started with the top 5, but EU is just a whole. Apple Pay for subscription in more places, right? That's really good, especially for Shopify app developers, where it's just going to help you boost, give your merchants more flexibility in your app so that then you can sell more. Moving on. Create submarkets for existing region markets, such as customizing your Europe market for French buyers, right? So you can now change default settings. Right? I knew Shopify was going towards this. It's always an inevitability. They started in the US and Canada, and that's sort of where it started. But now they've grown so big, they're really trying to give it so that people have flexibility because, there's so much money outside of just the top 5 countries anyway. So customer accounts work with markets, so ensure logged in customers see the same country, language, and company location on their account as they do on their storefront, right? So basically just really customizing it aligns to this, right? So you can view it as for France, online store, and add company location, so if you're a company that is in Australia, even Australia has slightly, we have a different currency to America, right? So you could just make it for Australia the exact same English EU, and then you could make it the Australian currency as opposed to US. It helps massively to have it all in a single place, but tailoring it to different regions so that then you can scale with ease, knowing that your conversion rate is going to be as high as possible and average order value, okay? ID verification is really important. Cookie banner preferences, that's something that is really important. It's now privacy and consent is a really important thing, and even in checkout, right? So always privacy, and GDPR is only getting bigger, right? CCPD, I think it is, and GDPR, huge. And marketing, email marketing by region, right? Really important things, right? As now, because privacy is such an important thing, it's really important that people have control of their data. So Shopify are always giving that, and I think that's a really important thing, right? When you're building your brand or you're a Shopify merchant, you always should be compliance, security, privacy, some of the forefronts of what you should think about, usability and ease of use. With marketing, I really like this one discount for multiple savings. Create a single discount code that can be applied across products, orders, and shipping with select discount apps, right? So basically from that is you can create a multiple discount code applied across multiple products, orders, and shipping, right? So it just brings, instead of having all these discount codes, because a lot of people then use them for different things, you can have one discount code, and it just makes it easier for users. Now this is more for merchants, Shopify QL segment editing. So this is more for code. Create and edit segments with assistive features, keyboard shortcuts, and improved data filtering. So for app developers, it sort of helps. Now, not just that, but obviously higher end merchants too. That's more probably for like Shopify Plus, right? People. But for starting brands, if I'm honest, you won't really need to worry about that. So we'll keep moving on. Cancel email marketings mid-send, catch typos, in email. That's through the Shopify email, I believe. Customize email padding and footing, meta fields. Okay, that's really important. Meta fields are really important for SEO, so make sure you take note of that with the forms. And store credit in Liquid. So store credit, remind customers of their store credit balance by including in the marketing emails. So in the emails that are sent through the automatic notifications or through Shopify email, you can have that, right? If someone has a $20 store credit as a reminder, makes a big difference. Oh, I can get this. Okay, it does help with repeat purchases. Collab for content creators, right? With e-commerce, influencer marketing is one of the most important ones. Content creators can get detailed sales analytics, timely payment updates, and better product delivery right from their phones with the new Collab, right? So really, really important for content creators. Shopify know that a big part of it comes from content creators, especially like YouTube and stuff. So they're really trying to focus on embracing a lot of that into their ecosystem, which is really cool. So if you're a content creator and you're building brands, you can have all of this as well as a separate app. So have a look at that. Measure multi-channel marketing with campaigns. So this is just, again, for brands that want to look at, you can use QR code shareable links and manage UTM links directly, right? Which is just really cool. You can use plenty of UTM tracking apps like UTM.io. There's one I can't remember what I use, but basically being able to do that where you can share that for various campaigns, whether it's in an email marketing campaign. A lot of email apps do the UTM tracking for you, but otherwise, if you're running an influencer campaign, being able to make it in here and track it is quite valuable, right? Because otherwise, historically, you've had to use Google Analytics, and that can be pretty daunting. Customer login uses your domain, so see your own branded URL for a customer login and account page. That's super important. That's something I'm actually building in the Beautify theme, so you have your own branded login. Everything is all about brand customization. Smarter recommendations. So this is just to help merchants get more sales, right? As simple as that. Online stores sync with shop. Mirror your online store's product detail on shop with swatches and subscriptions. So simply, it just gives merchants more exposure. So someone like, let's say, is looking on here and they're looking for a lot of different products. They can look and they might come across your brand organically, and it helps boost sales, and it's free. So I'd say everyone should be using it. I definitely think it's invaluable. Shoppers can create, share and discover, collaborate with others on collections of saved products, right? So, more collaboration. Everything's all about building a community, right? So with B2B, markets is now available for B2B. That's a big update, right? So create multiple B2B markets. So for people that are just more, let's say you're a wholesaler, with unique catalogs, currency, and storefront theme customization, then preview the buy experience using the View As feature in the product section, exclusive for Plus, right? So, so obviously this is for higher end merchants, but it's a really important one for B2B, right? They're really trying to tailor it to that because a lot of wholesale does make a lot of money. VAT number validation for EU and UK, that's just a compliance thing, for tax purposes. Minimum max order limits, that's really, really cool, right? So the minimum and maximum, right? Historically, you've had to use apps, but now you can just through Shopify. So gift cards is a really important one. NetSuite, which is Oracle NetSuite, by syncing companies' orders, PO, and payment with updated NetSuite ERP. Again, that's why this is for enterprise, right? So we're not going to go too much into that. We'll move on. Pick list in admin. Print pick lists by product order, including SKUs, quantities, and other product images to speed fulfillment via the Shopify order app. Right, it's just really, really cool. It just helps you fulfill your orders quicker. So for small businesses or brands that fulfilling your orders, you can just get it all in a single place through a single app, and that app is free. Transfer tracking in multiple shipments. Track a single inventory in multiple shipments. Right, so basically, it just allows you to track under the Shopify orders transfers. You can track that. I know a lot of people that don't use it, but it's actually really valuable. You can comment on it. You can manage it. So once you get your inventory, it's all just tracked. You can even add your tracking link, okay? So consolidated view for delivery methods, okay? So manage shipping, local delivery, in-store pickup, and pickup points for each location in a single view to easily activate, deactivate, or configure options, right? So it just gives a lot more options for brands about how they can fulfill an order, basically, and how a customer can choose. Do they want shipping, pick up in store, pick up points? That's become a very popular one nowadays, especially markets and stuff too that people go to, which they find because no one likes to pay shipping. So if they could go, people prefer that. We'll move past those. Just some more flexibility there. Split fulfillment by quantity or by item quantity. So have item quantities automatically split across multiple locations when one location doesn't have enough stock. Which that's the main one I find really cool because that always happens. Right? We've all had it. We've run out. Some places run out of stock and you have to go somewhere else. So that's really handy to have. Flat rates for multiple location orders. Charge customers a single flat shipping rate when items shipped from multiple locations with a single shipping profile. Okay, so if it ships from multiple locations, one rate. Simple as that. Okay, and more logistic partners, right? You can see here, choose from more third-party ShipBob, ShipFusion, ShipMonk, and Track in the Shopify Fulfillment Network app. So basically, it just integrates, and you can then fulfill it using all of this natively, which is really handy to have. Operations refund to store credit. That's a really important one. Helps with cash flow massively. I can tell you the amount of people and myself that want that. It helps with repeat customers, okay, massively, and helps you with immediate cash flow. Right? Obviously, it's up to the customer, but at the end of the day, that's really, really handy. And it works with subscription orders, multiple businesses, entities in one store. Streamline your back-end global operations with permissions and tools that make it easy for store owners and administration to manage all their business entities in one place. And again, that's for Plus, so enterprise. So for a lot of people, not that important, but for enterprise, really, really important because as you get bigger, things get more complex. Having it in one place is always the way. Tap to pay on mobile. So accept contactless payments directly on your phone now that Tap to Pay has expanded from the POS to the Shopify mobile app. Right? One less step helps with that. Streamline navigation on mobile, right? Mobile, just there improving because everyone's on the go. Having it on your mobile, especially micro brands and side hustles and all of that, really handy to have all of this so you can manage that easier. Get smarter loading, okay, faster. Everyone wants that. Clear navigation, really important. Dedicated setting, search, okay, like payment methods, things people are looking at regularly. Customizable analytics, okay, that's really important on mobile. It's always been very inflexible. You've always had to do it on desktop, whereas on mobile, that's really handy. Tax filing, automated filing, includes Shop, Facebook, and Instagram. That helps, but honestly, I still just use third-party tools. Shopify Capital monthly fee loan. So that's really important, especially, because having capital as a business is really, really important. You always want more capital, and now it's available in more countries. Customizable offers. Okay, so it's, again, just if you're interested in Shopify Capital, so just giving more flexibility there. Import data from more platforms, so you can see here, Square, WooCommerce, Etsy, Clover. So they're really trying to make it so you can just import, that's a thing to make it so you can migrate from other tools as easily as possible, which helps massively, right? It makes more money for Shopify and it makes it easier for people, because I know one of the big ones, WooCommerce, people always have pain moving from WooCommerce. Square and WooCommerce are the main ones, and Etsy. I know a lot of people that do Etsy do a Shopify store, but I know a lot of people that do WooCommerce end up moving to Shopify. So having something like this is really, really important. Build automations faster with real sample data from each variable, like product handle, digital. So basically you can build automations to help streamline your business, and again, use AI. This one was really cool. Next gen developer platform. Start building on our latest platform that makes it easy to quickly build high quality apps with less code. Okay. This is an early access. This allows, to build on the Shopify App Store. For me, that's really important, so I can get like the build with Shopify, build faster, and, grow my business. So because mine's more software as well as my brands, but for this, I found this really handy. So for developers, make sure you take note. I'd be using this, especially because it uses Polaris design system. For those outside of Polaris, still test it. I'm still going to test, because some of my apps are in Polaris, some are in my own design system in Figma. But if you can use it all in Shopify, because they're really trying to push for more apps, because the Shopify App Store makes Shopify 15% commission over $1 million annual recurring revenue. I think that's now a lifetime, but so Shopify, that's a great way, and it allows them to control the ecosystem. Developer stores for every Shopify plan. Test your app in dev stores with any plan. So that's really handy for developers, right? Instead of having to pay for it. Re-engineered app dev, build and test your complete app code and configuration in an isolated environment. Absolutely gorgeous. Local deployment, development, build apps and extensions without tunnels, and get faster hot loading using localhost. Everyone does that, but now it's just faster and easier. Shopify.MCP server is just a dedicated thing that really helps with AI assistance. Super important. It's just more code related stuff. Polaris unified UI components. This is one of the ones I saw Shopify really, working. I think this is like hosted in Figma or something, but just to make it even easier so that merchants get a more unified experience. It's built in the Shopify ecosystem all the same, right? So use the Shopify.dev MCP server to accelerate building your user interface. Building a user interface, especially your own custom one, can take a long time. So using something like this helps. I'm starting to use Shadden UI. CNUI, but using this as well for a number of Shopify apps is really important too. You've got your storefront web components, embed Shopify commerce features into any site. That's so cool, honestly. So basically now you can embed your Shopify thing on any site using the code. I won't get too much into it. The Shopify catalog, use our global catalog to build applications and AI agents that can search product data. Okay, from millions of businesses on Shopify, and add items to global cart, which is coming soon, and integrate full feature and checkout with the checkout kit. Basically, just gives you more options, as you can see here, where you can search your catalog and then work on various things using their sort of AI agent. Really handy stuff. I'll move on, won't go into all of those. Shopify functions documentation, large language model embed. So, build functions and migrate away from scripts faster. So important. The less scripts, the better. Scripts are workarounds most of the time. If you can have that with that Dev Assistant and Shopify Dev MCP, makes your app faster, more user friendly, and you can develop faster. Shopify flows. This is again for higher brands, but you can now send HTTP request. Action now supports returning data in the Shopify flow and can securely store and use secrets such as API keys. So basically, you're building your own custom flow in your apps. Growth simplified, built for Shopify. This is something I'm personally really aiming at as an app developer, really important. And then improved email support. They're pretty good, but they're really trying to use AI, right? Because everyone wants that little diamond. It really does help. So for app developers, add targeting by plan type. That's so important. I'll be spamming that. Priority app review with built for Shopify developers with built for get priority review, right? Because Shopify want more of that as well. Because in many regards, they're trying to push people away from making their own design system into their own. Trusted reviews prioritized. I've seen a lot of people actually have issues with this recently. They're doing a cleanup, but their low quality and suspicious reviews have less impact because it really does impact, especially for businesses that are solely on Shopify. Automated pre-submission. That's really cool. Mobile app ads on the App Store. Reach more merchants by running mobile ads across the homepage. Something that is really important. Get your app discovered by large-scale merchants with improved app recommendations, algorithm, and listing highlights. So, basically Shopify is really trying to, as you can see here, push the App Store. It makes a lot of money. Improved international app store search, really, really cool for merchants. I can't wait for me. Requirements for the new, so resubmit your theme with the, for me, for those who know, the Wbify theme, don't have to worry about that because it's not a listed one. That's sort of how we've configured it, but we're all compliant with all of this anyway because I think that's really cool. So, this will align a lot of these themes that have sort of started to do their own thing. Localization extensions for customer accounts. I won't go too much into that. It's a lot more for the checkout, but expanded payment extensions. So create more payment extensions with broader capabilities, including multiple currencies, on-site QR codes, and Moto orders. Pardon me. Print APIs for pods, generate preview, and print documents like invoices, packing slips more directly in the pods. So for apps that do fulfillment, this is really, really important. Orders rerouted via API. Automatically reroute orders to the next best location via API using your routing rules. So cool, right? So automatically the customer can get the order as fast as possible, but you can control it. Faster loading apps. Pardon me. Get faster loading times with the latest version of the app bridge. Okay, I haven't used that much, so I can't talk about it. And that's pretty much it, right? You can see that this is pretty much the whole update. As I said, I'll have a link down below. I'm going to be making another one on when this new update comes out. A lot of exciting features, over 100 features, 150 features, right? So really important to stay on top of this. But I hope you have enjoyed it. Check out the link down below. Thank you for your time. Have a lovely day. Take care and goodbye.